One up, and then twist. We want that bone right there. When you twist, you're gonna pull back. That's super, super important. My knee, point my toes like a ballerina. Down, my foot is sideways, and I'm pressing my inner knee. All right, kickboxers, so once you have your bag out on the floor, especially if it's your very first time, you may not know what to do. Now, rest assured that most of the people that are around you don't know what to do either. And anybody that you see that looks like they know exactly what they're doing and they're looking amazing started right where you are, literally not having a clue. So let's talk about some basic things that will really help you once you actually get into class. And especially after you take your first couple of classes, come back and rewatch this video because a lot of it may make more sense at that point, okay? Now, you're gonna have big boxing gloves on, but we also suggest these wraps. I don't have boxing gloves on because I want you to see the specific hand placement that I'm gonna be using on the bag, and the boxing gloves can kind of obscure that. So you will be wearing gloves. I do suggest you wear gloves, but I also suggest you wear your wraps like this, okay? Now, in kickboxing, all of our combinations are made up of only a few relatively simple movements. You will get better at the movements, but then you'll also get better at putting those movements together in combinations. Each week, we do the same combinations, then we switch combinations on a new week. So if you do a specific combination on Monday, you're not that great at it, you'll get better at it on Wednesday, better at it on Friday, better at it whatever days you come to class, and then we'll switch the next week. But each of those combinations is made up of specific techniques. Let's go through some of those techniques. First things first is you have to understand how to stand. One foot is always in front of the other. So if I'm over here on this side, I've got one foot in front and one foot in back. Every once in a while, we'll tell you to square your feet up like this, but generally, we want you to have one foot here, one foot in the back. You're gonna do both this side and this side in class, but most likely you're gonna feel best with your dominant leg in the back, your dominant leg and dominant hand in the back. I'm right-handed, so my right hand goes in the back, my right leg goes in the back. That's because my power is generally gonna come from the back, okay? So let's talk about our very first strikes. Very first strikes, you're gonna have your hands up like this. The very first strike we do is called a jab. A jab is always with the lead hand. In this particular case, it's my left hand. If I switch feet, it's gonna be my right hand. Every time anyone says jab, so if your instructor says jab and they want you to jab, we're talking about your lead hand, okay? Also notice that this hand comes up every time I jab. If I'm on this side like this, it's the same thing. This jab goes out, automatically this hand goes up. This isn't something that we want you to put brain power to, but eventually as you get better, you're a few weeks or a few months into the program and you start to jab like this, and I've seen that you've been here for 6 months and your hand is down here, I'm gonna go, hey lady, pick that hand up right here. Got it? So this is your jab, this is your cross. A cross is with the backhand. So here's my jab, here's my cross. Again, my hand is up if at all possible. Don't put a lot of brain power to it at first. The brain power that we want you to put is towards this, this cross, twisting your hips and pushing your hand straight out. So the jab is straight out and the cross is straight out. I'm striking with these two knuckles, right here, right here. We don't want these touching at all. If possible, we don't want this pinky knuckle touching. What that means is my resting position of where my hands are as a human being, if I've got my hands right here and I just relax, you can see that there's a little curve in like this. Okay, kind of my elbow kind of curves and my hands kind of curve. When I make a fist, that curve gets even worse. Well, it gets better if I'm my natural human anatomy, but it gets worse for kickboxing because then I pick that up and my pinky is what's reaching towards the bag. So I'm gonna have to focus on getting these two knuckles towards the bag. And that means I'm gonna have to straighten and flatten out my wrist. There's two ways that we mean straight. We mean straight here and we mean straight here. So we don't want this wrist like this or this wrist like this. Wraps can help that. We don't want the wrist here or the wrist here. If the wrist is here, it makes contact with what we call knock knuckles, right? If it's here, obviously that's no good either. So these two knuckles, not here, and not like this, but straight ahead. You can see that as I strike, my jab is straight, my cross is straight. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Don't, again, like we're not gonna get like freaked out if we accidentally make a little bit of a pinky strike, but as you get lazier, you get more tired in class, don't let your hands come like this. Jab is straight, cross is straight. So that's jab, cross. We're also gonna do hooks in class. When you're talking about your hands, we have jab, we have cross, we have hooks, and we have elbows. So let's talk about hooks and elbows, okay? Hooks and elbows. Hook is not straight in. Hook still strikes with these two knuckles, but a hook comes around. I have a lead hand hook and a backhand hook. Just like I have a jab and a cross, I have a lead hand and a backhand. I'm gonna go ahead and put my right leg in front right now. This is my lead hand. My lead hand hook is gonna come out. My body comes towards the bag, and then I'm gonna twist around. I don't wanna stay out here. Jab, cross, I can do from kind of out here on the bag. Look how far away my body is. But on hook, I can't do this, so we'll see people in class reach their hands out like this. That's not it. You gotta get a little closer to the bag, pull your hips up, and then twist, twist. So you're gonna bring it all the way around and strike, again with these two knuckles if at all possible. There's lead hand hook, there's backhand hook. If you're looking from the back, here's lead hand hook, here's backhand hook. If you're looking from this side, here's lead hand hook, here's backhand hook. 1, 2. So we have jab, cross that are straight in, hook 1, hook 2. Jab, cross, hook 1, hook 2. Got it? Let's talk about elbows. Elbows we almost exclusively do with the backhand because they're big power strikes. We're gonna twist our body right here and then drive through the bag with your forearm. It's an elbow, but that's a bit of a misnomer. You're not really gonna hit with the very tip of your elbow. You're gonna hit with this bone right here, right? Your ulna right there. So you're gonna turn that blade out towards the bag. That means your hand's gonna be pretty much flat. Sometimes we see people accidentally turn their hand this way or accidentally turn their hand this way. We don't want muscle or muscle hitting the bag. We want that bone right there. When you twist, you're gonna twist and then push. If all you do is only twist, you'll never get closer to the bag. Here's what we mean by that. If all you do is ever twist, you're not really getting closer to the bag. We want you to push, 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 okay? Same thing on this side. Generally it's with the back, and I push. Also note that I'm like hooking close to the bag. I'm in hook distance. Elbow distance is very close. Jab cross is out here. If I try to do an elbow from here, I'm not really gonna make it, so I'm gonna have to bring my body in, and we do that a lot with elbows. I'll say move in, or the instructor will say move in, and throw an elbow. So I reach my leg out, twist my hips, and push my elbow in. Tighten your core and exhale every time you do that strike, and it'll save you from getting a headache, and it'll save you from your body kind of getting sore just from that impact. So we're gonna breathe out every time. When you're breathing, purse your lips, relax your jaw, tighten your core, and push with your diaphragm. Your throat doesn't hold it. Your core and your diaphragm does the pushing. Make sense? So that's jab, that's cross, that's hook, hook, and then backhand elbow. Lead hand elbow is the same way, but you're almost always gonna see us do backhand elbow. Got it? So those are our major strikes that you'll see with our hands in class. So let's talk about kicks. When we're doing kicks from the waist down, kicks require a lot of energy and a lot of effort, but they also require a lot of brain power. You're gonna see people in class that look like they know exactly what they're doing with their kicks. They probably know more than you, but nobody ever feels like they're just flawless and perfect at their kicks. It's a journey. You are in a journey to learn a skill and to challenge yourself. Challenge yourself mentally, challenge yourself physically, and challenge yourself emotionally. So don't get dejected when you don't get these kicks just perfect. It's gonna take a little bit of time, okay? There's 3 major kicks that we do, well, 4 major kicks that we do. We do a front kick, we do a roundhouse, we do a side kick, and we do a back kick. Okay? Each of those 4 major kicks you're gonna see consistently in class. Our combinations generally set these kicks up to feel good to your body. So if it doesn't feel right, you may be on the wrong foot, or you may be leading in with the wrong hand, which is very common. Just look around you and figure it out. If you're not quite sure, raise your hand like, I don't know what's going on here, okay? So let's talk about front kick. Again, we've got 1 foot in front and 1 foot in back. We have either a lead leg or a back leg that we're gonna be kicking with. If we're doing a lead leg front kick, we're gonna lift it up and push it out. It really is that simple. Lift it up and push it out. If you're doing a back leg front kick, you're gonna lift it up and push it out. Notice though how I had to step back a little bit. you may be too close to the bag. If we say front kick with that right leg, I'm using my right leg right now. If we say front kick and you have to pick this one up and you feel like you're too close, you may need to just kind of tap it a little bit, or you may need to slide back a touch and then push that leg out. Notice on front kick that my toes are always pulled back, all the time, all the time, all the time, pulled back. That's super, super important. And my knee is, if possible, higher than my waist. Doesn't mean that I have to kick super high. I'm not kicking that high. I'm kicking my waist high. But if I bring my knee here and do this motion, that's not anywhere near as effective as bringing my knee here and doing this motion. Now, very rarely in our lives do we have to lift our knee above our waist, right? That's not usually a part of a job requirement for sitting in a cubicle and typing all day, right? So we usually will see people that have some challenges with getting their leg up there. It will come, and really even just in a few weeks, you'll be able to get that knee up there. So try your best, get your knee up, press it out. You can push it, or you can pop it. Boom. Either way, doesn't matter. Lead leg, back leg. That's front kick. So roundhouse kick is a little different. I'm gonna come over here on this side. Roundhouse kick, we're gonna use the top of our foot. When I say the top of our foot, I mean our instep. So I've got my toes right here, I've got my shin right here, and I have my instep. I'm gonna kick somewhere between the bottom part of my shin and the top part of my foot. I'm gonna try my best to keep my toes out of this. I don't really want my toes striking the bag and having a lot of energy into them. I want my shin and my instep to have all that energy. You don't have to kick that hard, that's not necessary, but you are gonna have to twist your hips. So we have lead leg, we have back leg. Let's talk about lead leg first. If I do lead leg roundhouse kick, a lot of times we're gonna be setting it up with a combination, so your instructor is already gonna have your hips turned like this, and they're gonna ask you to kick with the top of your foot. You're gonna bring it up, touch it, and bring it back down. It's all you gotta do. Bring it up, touch it, and bring it back down. Now, you see how I turn my body like this? It's not a front kick. It is a roundhouse. Turn your body and throw your kick. That's hard to do. It requires some pivoting on this bottom leg. It requires you to turn that body and kick. Even if you're not on beat, or even if you're not with the rest of the class, even if you haven't done every single combination, we would rather you take your time and try your best on this thing and then skip to the next combo with us than try to keep up and do it wrong. So nobody's gonna judge you for like trying to figure it out in class. No big deal. If I'm doing the lead leg roundhouse from this side, you can see the same thing. Generally, we'll have you do some sort of combination that will set you up for roundhouse. Your body has turned. You're gonna elevate the knee and roundhouse kick. So I bend it as flat as I can. Literally, I've turned the whole top of my hip. I've got these hip flexors right here. I've turned the whole top of my hip over. My back is facing that way. Aim my knee, point my toes like a ballerina, strike, set it down. Up, out, and down. Your leg is not gonna look like that on day one, don't worry about it. But the thing that we really want you to focus on is don't hit your toes on it, that's gonna hurt like crazy, and try your best not to hit with the inside of your ankle. A lot of times we'll see people and they won't be able to roll their body over as much as they want to, and their leg will come up here like this. We don't want legs coming up here like this because it scrapes the inside of your ankle, and it's not accurate, it's not the correct way to do it. And so you're not able to put a lot of power into it, and it feels bad, okay? So that's a lead leg roundhouse. Mostly we'll go jab, cross, hook, or we'll do something like that. Then they'll say lead leg, lift it, roundhouse it, set it down. If I'm doing a back leg, it's the same kick, except I'm bringing it from the back. Now I'm gonna have a whole lot more energy and power, so my lead leg is kind of quick, but there's not a lot of power to it. It's quick, but it's kind of light. My back leg, I can get a whole ton of power and energy, but it takes a lot of effort to get it all the way around. I am gonna bend it just like I did my last one. We call this a chamber, by the way. I am gonna chamber it and bend it, but I gotta turn this foot like crazy. The way that I do it and that most people do it is elevate that heel just a little off the ground, which you kind of should be anyway, and then turn your body, whip some momentum around, and try to get the leg as flat as it can go. Try not to bring it up and down. Your energy will be wasted. It'll glance off the bag. We want it to move into the bag. So turn and roundhouse kick. Turn and roundhouse. So we might say something like jab, cross, hook, hook, back leg round. So you'll go 1, 2, hook, hook, and then you're ready to back leg roundhouse. Kick it if you can. bring it back again, set it down, and then get ready. Kick, bring it back, set it down, and then get ready. So that's a lead leg roundhouse and back leg roundhouse. So side kick is the next one that we'll work on in class. Side kick with our lead leg, we're gonna lift it and push it. Usually, almost always, if we're doing a side kick, we're not gonna do a whole lot of big combination ahead of time. Usually just gonna turn your body like this and bring your side kick up. So we might say step and side kick. A side kick uses a lot of glute and a lot of hamstring and a lot of back muscles, so you have to keep them up straight like this. We don't want you to lean over and hunch. On a side kick, people oftentimes will pull it up like it's a front kick and they'll push it like this, right? We don't necessarily want you to do that because you don't go anywhere. There's no power coming into the bag. Because if you're in a front kick, your chest is facing the front, you've lifted it up and you're pushing momentum into the bag. If you're on a side kick, you don't have that momentum and it feels like nothing. So roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. Literally aim your butt, pick it up like this and press it out. Notice my toes are down, my foot is sideways, and I'm pressing my heel and my whole foot into the bag. The other thing that your body will want to do is your body will want to extend the toes out like this, the ball of the foot. As you roll and rotate and turn your butt like this, your body will automatically want to extend the foot like this. It's really hard and it takes a lot of effort and energy to pull it back and turn it down. So pull it back, turn it down. This muscle right here, get here a little closer. This muscle right here on the front of your shin is gonna pull it back. Then we're gonna roll it from the knee down, roll it over. Pull it back, roll it over. My hip is rolling, yes, but I'm controlling it from the knee down, then from the hip down. Up, over, then roll, if that makes sense. So side kick, a lot of times they'll have you step up, bring it up, push it out, and set it down. Side kick. It can be a really powerful kick once you get it. You can really push hard, and it's kind of satisfying. It feels good, but it won't be satisfying at first. Day one, when you go, oh my God, it's really hard, it's not going to be satisfying. It's not a big deal. The last one that we're going to look at is back kick. Back kick is kind of like side kick, except it goes from the back. So if I'm here and I just did jab, cross, hook, lead leg round, whatever, and your instructor says you're back kicking, you're always going to come over your back shoulder. So if I got my left side in front, I'm coming over my back side, which is my right side. So I turn and stop, literally facing away from the bag. I can see the bag over my shoulder. That's it. Just over my shoulder out of the corner of my eye. And I've got my rear end aiming this way, my belly button facing this way. I'm going to lift it up and push it out, just like we saw a side kick earlier. Okay? So I'm going to turn, look, stop my energy, and then push. If I keep spinning through and get to here, I won't have any energy at all. So generally, your instructor is going to try to have you go turn, look, and kick, and they're probably going to want you to reset your body in whatever your combination is. So if you did like 1, 2, hook, round, back kick, probably going to want you to come back this way, right? So turn, look, find your target, and back kick. One more time. Turn, look, find your target, and kick. So those are your general kicks that you're going to work on. Good luck in class. I know you're going to do great. If you have any questions, ask the instructors. We're here to help.